Homelander has never once been held by someone who wasn't paid to touch him. Every handshake, every embrace, every moment of human warmth in his entire life has been transactional. Sit with that for a second, because everything he becomes starts there. Most people read him as a tyrant, a narcissist with laser eyes, and he is those things. But those are symptoms. The disease is older and quieter, and it lives in a room underground where a child was chained to a hydrogen bomb, not because he'd done anything wrong, but because he might. By the end of this, you'll understand why the moments where Homelander terrifies you most are the exact moments he feels most like a child, and why that fact makes him more dangerous, not less. Here's what the source material actually gives us. A boy grown in a lab from stolen genetic material. No parents. His mother, a mentally disabled woman, died in the act of delivering him. His childhood? Systematic torture dressed up as testing. The scientists who raised him cataloged his pain thresholds the way engineers stress test metal. Madeline Stillwell, the woman who would become his handler, manipulated him from the start, and he called that manipulation love. His creator, Ennis, describes him as having the self-control of a 14-year-old. That's not an insult, that's a diagnosis. Because a 14-year-old isn't someone who lacks morality. A 14-year-old is someone who hasn't finished building a self yet. And Homelander never got to finish. The wound here isn't violence. Plenty of characters survive violence. The wound is that no one ever mirrored him back. Developmental psychology has a term for what happens when a child receives no consistent, loving reflection of who they are. The self never coheres. It stays fragmented, hungry, desperate for something it can't name. Homelander's entire personality is organized around a hole where attachment was supposed to go. He didn't miss out on love. He missed out on the experience that teaches a person what love even is. So he substitutes. He finds the closest available analog, worship, and he chases it with the intensity of a starving man who's been handed a menu instead of a meal. Notice what he does with Stillwell. She is not his lover in any adult sense. She is his regulator, the one person whose approval keeps his behavior inside livable margins. When he murders her, it's not because he's outgrown her. It's because she lied about his son. She broke the one contract he understood. You see me, and in return, I don't destroy everything. The moment she violates that, he kills her. Not out of strength, out of collapse. And what happens next tells you everything about how his mind works. Without Stillwell, he doesn't stabilize. He doesn't find a new equilibrium. He spirals. He enters a relationship with Stormfront. He bribes, manipulates, and murders his way into controlling Vought. He installs a puppet CEO. He appoints sycophants. From the outside, this looks like ambition. From the inside, it's a child frantically rebuilding the walls of a room that just caved in. Every power grab Homelander makes is a substitute for the one thing he can't grab, the feeling of being safe with another person. He doesn't want the throne. He wants the throne to want him. This is the pattern, and it repeats with mechanical precision. He finds a moderating presence, Stillwell, Stormfront, Edgar, even Starlight for a moment. He depends on them. They see something in him he can't see himself. And then the instant that person challenges him, corrects him, or reveals a loyalty that isn't exclusively his, he destroys them. Stillwell, murdered. Stormfront, discarded after her exposure. Edgar, ousted. Black Noir, killed the moment he confirmed a truth Homelander didn't want confirmed. Maeve, imprisoned for the crime of having helped someone else. He even expels Sister Sage, the strategist keeping his empire functional, over a betrayal that was actually her doing her job. He doesn't just burn bridges, he burns the people standing on them. And then he wonders why he's alone. There's a clinical shape to this. It's called the wound bond cycle. A person whose early attachment was defined by pain develops a template. Closeness means danger. Intimacy means betrayal. So they seek closeness compulsively
because the need is real, but sabotage it the moment it becomes real enough to wound them. Homelander doesn't betray people because he's evil. He betrays them because the alternative is trusting them, and trust is the one power he does not have.
And then there's Ryan. This is where the mask slips in a way that can't be covered up. Homelander discovers he has a son, a biological child born from an act of violence he committed against Becca Butcher. His response is not guilt, it's hunger. He wants Ryan, not for Ryan's sake, for his own. He wants to build the family he never had, using the child as raw material. Watch what he does. He tries to remove Ryan from Becca's care. He forces the boy to use his powers by staging a fake crime. He scolds him for maintaining a relationship with Butcher. He introduces him to a crowd of political extremists and watches, satisfied, as the boy witnesses his father murder a man with heat vision, and is impressed. This is not fatherhood. This is replication. Homelander isn't raising Ryan. He's trying to grow a version of himself that was loved from the start. A version that proves the experiment could have worked if only someone had cared. Ryan is his do-over, his proof of concept. And the cruelty of it is that every time Ryan shows independence, talks publicly about Becca, maintains a bond with Butcher, Homelander punishes him. Because independence means Ryan is becoming his own person. And Homelander doesn't want a person. He wants a mirror. Here's the detail that makes this irreversible. Firecracker feeds him her breast milk, and he accepts it. Not as a fetish, not as a joke, as comfort. A grown man with the power to level a city. Nursing. The symbolism isn't subtle because it isn't meant to be. Homelander is regressing. The closer he gets to absolute power, the further he retreats toward infancy. Because power was never the point. The point was always the thing that comes before power, before language, before identity, the simple animal experience of being nourished by someone who chose to be there. He will never get it. That's the engine of his destruction. Every system he builds to simulate love, the rallies, the loyalty tests, the sycophants, the son he's sculpting in his image, is a system that requires control. And control is the opposite of what love actually asks for. Love asks you to be vulnerable, to let someone see you without managing the outcome. Homelander has been managing outcomes since the day he lied about killing hostages on his first mission and Black Noir helped him cover it up. He has never, not once, allowed himself to be seen without a script. Even his breakdowns happen in front of mirrors. He talks to his own reflection because it's the only face in the world he sure won't leave. The diagnosis isn't narcissism, though narcissism is present. The diagnosis isn't psychopathy, though the behavior qualifies. The diagnosis is this: Homelander is a permanent infant with a god's body. Every atrocity he commits, the murders, the coups, the manipulation of his own child, is a tantrum thrown by a self that never finished forming, using power it should never have received. He doesn't lack a conscience. He lacks the developmental foundation a conscience is built on. You can't feel guilt about hurting others if others were never real to you in the first place. And others were never real to him because no one was ever real to him when it mattered, when he was small and chained and waiting for someone to come. The reason he unsettles you isn't the laser eyes, it's the recognition. You've met this need before. In a boss who demanded loyalty but couldn't give it. In a parent whose love had conditions printed in fine type. In anyone who confused control with connection and punished you for knowing the difference. Homelander is that pattern scaled to omnipotence. And the most honest thing about him is that he doesn't know it. He genuinely believes he deserves the love he's extorting. That belief is his cage. It always was. The hydrogen bomb was just the first version. If you want to see what happens when a mind like this exists without the superpowers, when the same wound wears a suit instead of a cape, watch what's playing next.